Up next to the stage, Theologian. How's everybody doing today?
Yeah. Too deep, too intelligent, too busy to play your face off. It is hot. My presence yet you can't even explain two scriptures to defend me. And hopefully I work your time and maybe we'll see two rows around you done your homework. Too busy following a man that you can't hear my voice.
Hey, I'm just glad to be here tonight, all the way from Fort Worth, Texas. Glad to be up here with my people. Yeah, I just want to get out the way. I got two quick pieces and just want to celebrate tonight. Getting ready to come up on my 11-year anniversary walking with the Lord, May 7th. I celebrate that, so looking forward to it. A lot of people counted me out. They said it was just a phase that I wouldn't make it, but you know, almost 11 years later, I'm still running this race. This first piece I'm getting ready to spit is called "He Got My Back." It's a true story about something that happened in my life, and it's, you know, like I said, I just want to celebrate tonight. When I had no place to go, pondering living in a homeless shelter, a park, or camping out of my car. Through it all, I never felt sorry for myself because you got my back. And even though I'm getting out the shovels to bury my pain, and even though a part of me is missing, that's not too big for you. That can be replaced. All I got to do is check the world's 4-to-1 ratio of women to men, and my life is still whole, and my life is still full, and my life is still good because you are my life. Just when I thought I had reached my boiling point, 5-0 threw out the spikes and a mistaken identity, and the next thing you know, boom, 4 flat tires. No biggie, I ain't tripping, same God who never changes. You got my back when I was disrespected and not seen for my worth. When I invested and still got slapped in the face, you still got my back. Backed up against a wall, new territory that I never treaded upon. I look to the hills from whence cometh my help. And some might say, well, what does that mean? He's God and I'm not. And even though my best friend and my family were taken, I'm still grateful that you still have a place for me at the table. Thank you for the hope, the comfort, the love. Thank you for empowering me even when I put you in a box and limited you in my thinking. Not only do I realize, but I receive the fact that because you're God and because you got my back, my best days are ahead of me. And to hear you say that you'll make it up to me and that you still got something better for me. Ooh-wee. You just make me tick. And instead of wallowing in what I've lost, I should be looking at this as a blessing in disguise. Seeing myself as the apple of your eye. Has God forgotten about me? Please. Well, I suppose it depends on who you ask, their persuasion. But my thing is, I know whom I have believed. And I'm persuaded that he's able to keep that which I've committed unto him. His name is God. Even in a land that is not familiar and full of obscurity, you still got my back. How can he not? He just can't help himself. He is so faithful. Like the leaves change with the seasons, our character should never change. Because when you love someone, your love doesn't dissipate. When you undergo hard times, it just simply put to the test. And I'm running out of options, so I might as well put up or shut up because I got work to do. Come rain, sleet, snow, hell, or high water. And I know the devil is throwing fits. He might think, how could this dude have the audacity to keep praising and believing God when I thought for sure that these trials would teach him a lesson? That I guess they did, but I didn't know that he would keep pressing, and I'm losing sleep because I threw my best shot at him and he still didn't budge. He's still rejoicing, being steadfast and abounding in the work of the Lord, and for some reason he just can't be stopped. Now back to me. I don't need any sympathy. If anything, just get in my corner and pray for me. One more piece and I'm going to get out the way. This next piece, and I want to brief everybody because I know I get in trouble back home for this one. churches, pulpits, people want to stone me, and I've gotten letters the next day on this one, and people want to leave me in the sinner's prayer and be like, son, are you saved? Well, that's not appropriate for the house of God. So I want to brief everybody ahead of time. The next piece that I'm getting ready to do is called, it's called Wet Dream. Hold up. Hold on. Wet dream is an analogy of the illusion of sin prior to crossing over to the knowledge of Jesus Christ. And when I crossed over, I woke up and realized, what in the world was I doing? What was I thinking? Wet dream. And it was all in my mind, bumping and grinding, then I realized that it was just a dream. Now, some might say that life without Christ is the real thing, but I beg to differ. I myself at one point was blind by the illusion that while playing in sin and reminiscing on all my wrong, I thought I had it going on. Then reality hit, and all it was a wet dream. At the same time, Christ was making history by turning his dream into a reality. From the 6th to the 9th, our price was paid at the cross, but from then to now, people still don't know what he's about. And 3 days later, as the earth was shaking and out of the grave, dead men were awakened. As they waited patiently for the fulfillment of what was promised, he snatched the keys from Satan. As he conquered death, hell, and the grave, he rose. He rose. He rose. And there he was, suddenly draped in white raiment, the emblem of love. And oh Lord, how excellent is thy name in all the earth, and the celebration has just begun. The angels sang. See, serving you is like moving from the hood to the suburbs. It's better than the taste of bluebell ice cream on my lips, and better than the feel of baggy jeans on my hips. It ain't nothing like being raised to new life in Christ Jesus. And March 25th of 1980 was the day that I was introduced to the earth, but it wasn't until 05, 07, 97 that I finally took my first breath. Because I was trash to Satan, but a treasure to Christ. And it's so real being on the other side. And your word promises that whosoever believes in you will not be put to shame. No longer a slave to sin. Through the resurrection I've been made free. By his blood I overcame, have been given a testimony that I have received victory. God bless y'all.